Right, hello again. Now I wasn't expecting to do another video so soon, but after last night somebody asked me if I could create programmatically modular progressions. And based on what I had set up yesterday, I think the answer is no, because you have to hit load and load different save points on Mimetic. There's no way of programmatically triggering it, so maybe that's something for version 2 for Mimetic. Maybe a feature request, who knows. But what we can do instead, we can actually break this down into 4 sequences of 4 and then programmatically trigger that. So here we've got the X and the Y axis. And at the moment we're triggering using the N input, which will trigger all 16 steps. But if we switch over to the X input, it will keep us where we are on the X, and then we can move Y with the Y button, or we can programmatically move Y using this input. So before I get any music coming out, let's just demonstrate that. So here on channel 8, what I've got set up here, I've got a gate coming out. What do we set at? 64, events 4, so that's every bar we're going to get a trigger. So if we trigger Y here, every bar, it's going to move down every bar. If we want it every 4 bars, we can go to 1 in 64. Every 2 bars, 2 in 64. Or if we like where we are, we could go to 0. Or alternatively, we could just mute that channel. So if I mute, then we just stay here on the top section. So this is what I'm going to demo today. Try and get a melodic pattern going through the Osiris. I'm going to try and set it up pretty much the same as the last video that we did. I'm going to set a main lead coming out of Osiris on channel 1. We're going to set a bass coming out on channel 3. This time the beads has done one, and we've brought in some new friends. We've got the Mummate, which is going to tame the bass voice out of here, because last time it was a little harsh unless we just had the sine wave. So we've got an extra filter in here. The main voice will be going through carbon again as before, and we've also brought in U-scale. So for our 4-note melodic patterns, mimetic, it can be a little bit extreme. So we're just going to use the U-scale to tame down the CV from here to just give us a nice little arpeggio. And I've just set 4 notes here on the scale. So let's see if we can get a melodic progression. It might not sound great because I'm just going to use random CV here, but let's see what we can come up with. Okay, so first of all, let's get our main lead coming out of Osiris again like we did last time. So the main Osiris is here. Why have we got no sound? Because we've got no trigger. So if I trigger, let's keep it simple. Okay, our main trigger, let's just use Metropolix for the trigger, but I'm not going to use any pitch from Metropolix. And let's just lower the decay a bit. Okay, so there's our main voice coming out. Now if we did send pitch from Metropolix, we'd get something like this. And then we could set that, but I want to programmatically move it using Mimetic today, so let's take that out. Now the way I like to use Mimetic is I like to use the first 3 channels for a full CV, so not anything melodic because it will be far too many scales, and then we use channel 4 to be across only 2 octaves, which will just give us a much more tamed arpeggio. I'll demonstrate that now. So if we just have channel 4 here, I've actually already set something up here to sound okay. So let's take out channel 4. We'll go into our 1 volt per octave so we can see this moving now. So we've got 2 notes here on the first 4 on the x-axis. We've just got 2 different notes here. And then let's send that into our Osiris and see what happens. Now, just to demonstrate this, I'm going to load shred, which will give us far too many octaves. That's horrific. Let's undo that. So we do a load 0 shred, and that will just give us 2 octaves. we go. So I'm just going to undo that, go back to where we were. So we always do load 0 shed on channel 4 because I've got pitch coming in there, and then on the first 3 channels I can do load shred to get the full CV. I'm going to use channels 1 and 2 on the Osiris to modulate the X and the Y here. So let's give that a go. Let's just bring that in. Channel 1 for the X. Channel 2 for the Y. Oh, that's the Y. Let's try it. Maybe. Maybe it's better the other way around. Yeah, okay, let's start with that. Kick. Okay, yep, quite like that. So let's now tame that down. Let's send it through the filter. So we'll take the mix into carbon, as we always do. Then we'll take that out into mimeophone. We'll go on to the low pass filter on carbon, and then take our output. Oh, we've got the wave folder on. Let's turn the wave folder off. Okay, that sounds good. What did we have last time? We were doing some... we were doing the filter modulation using Javelin. So let's set... I'm just going to set that up again because it was really good last time. So let's just do that again. So we had channel 5 here going into triggering our filter. So you'll see the filter trigger here now. So that's triggering channel 5. Channel 5 is here. We've got 3 events in 16, so it's giving us a sparse, uneven pattern, which I like. Just gives us a little bit of variation in there. And then if we send the envelope out from there, modulate the filter cutoff. Just attenuate that down a little bit. Okay, I like the sound of that. And then again, like last time, we're going to use channel 6 so that when both these fire together, we'll get a filter accent. So we'll send that into the accent. I don't know if you can see that here. It'll be more obvious if we turn the attenuation up here. So every time that fires twice, the filter opens more. Always like that. Okay, let's turn that off for now. Okay, let's send our sub this time. We'll send the sub again. We'll send it through the sync Bacina, but this time we'll send it through the Mimetic filter as well. So in there, nice short cable out into the filter. Let's just turn it up for now, and then the output will send straight into channel 3. Always pick the wrong length cable. Okay, why have we got nothing? Channel 3 is on. Channel 3 is up. This is coming through. We need to trigger. Okay, what should we trigger that with? Let's trigger that with channel 7 here, because that's going to come off the other trigger. So that's going to trigger first, and then depending on when we trigger this, we could get different notes. So let's create an irregular pattern here on our channel 7 trigger. Let's see what happens. So we'll send that channel 7. Let's send it into the ping. How's that sound with a kick? Yeah, that's okay. Let's bring back the lead. Okay, so that's given us the main. That'll do for a start. Now, if we start advancing the Y here, we should get some different melody coming out of the Osiris. Okay, quite like that one. Not sure about that one. Definitely not sure about that one. But that sounds like home, so the top two sound okay. Now, because we've got channel 8 here triggering once every bar, we could actually unmute that and move it down a bar. There we go. Then mute again, and it'll keep us on. It'll keep us on the second row here. Now, another thing that we can do to advance. So let's just leave that triggering for now. So that's every bar. Then mute will keep it on 1 there. Now another thing we can do is if we send a trigger, so I've got one more channel here, channel 2. What have we got going on channel 2? Right, let's unmute it. Channel 2, 64, so that's every 2 bars, rotated 63, so right at the end of a 2-bar sequence, but not on beat. It's going to then we can randomly trigger a movement to another step here. So rather than always starting at the same point on this beat, it's going to randomly move between position 1, 2, 3, 4 as the start position. So not only is it going to randomly move between each of these, it's also going to change our trigger point. So our melody or our arpeggio should change in feel. Okay, why is channel 2 not triggering? We are on 2 events. That did just trigger. But why is it not moving? Let's just recheck that. Oh, I plugged it into the wrong one. I plugged it into the CV output. I should have plugged it into R for random. Let's go again. There we go, we've just moved. So when we get back to position 1, so now we're at position 1. This actually sounds very different to what it sounded before because we're actually starting on a different one of these 4 notes. Let's just do that again. Okay, let's try a different melody. So load 0 shred. Okay, so that's all I wanted to do tonight. Just have a bit of a play around, just show how you can use Mimetic. I know it wasn't the most melodic of setups, but we've demonstrated how we can use the Y trigger to move between 4 different steps, and then that will give us different arpeggiators based on our quantizer here, U scale. Maybe there's better ways of setting this up. I mean, you can programmatically do these on Mimetic, but it's too much effort to programmatically do. I just like to do load 0 shred. Sometimes they sound better than others. That one sounds good. Increase our bass filter. And we haven't even turned Mimeophone up. Let's give that a go. So there we go, bit of pitch quantization using Mimetic, showing the X and Y, can be done. I think it takes a bit of setting up. I'm not convinced I'm going to use it too much, but it does show how you can get a progression out of this. I'm more likely to use Metropolix, I think, and then with Metropolix you can kind of just move things randomly. You can get something pretty good pretty quickly, and then if you go for an odd number of steps, then that shifts your arpeggiator throughout the 4 on the floor beat, and it just gives you that nice variation. Nothing ends up competitive, nothing ends up repetitive then, and yeah, you can get a lot out of Metropolix without too much effort. So yep, that'll do for this one. I'll just play this out for a couple of minutes, and then I will come up with something new. And I think next time I'm going to bring the beats back in and do a bit of sampling off the TV and see how that works. Okay, thanks for watching, and next one should be out fairly soon.